Back in 2022, I had to take down my bird photography hide to make way for the building of a new pond. Now, this felt like a real shame at the time, and I wasn't quite sure what the future would hold. This is where my little wooden hide used to be for small bird photography, but every cloud has a silver lining. And this is now the pond, and as you can see, things have changed quite a bit. It really is amazing just how much a pond can develop in just over 2 years. This pond is now thriving, lots of new growth around the edge, plenty of vegetation and some nice colour, and there's lots of insects there as well. Most of the vegetation here is completely natural, but the landowners have added a few little things here and there. There's lots of insects here in and around the water. There's pond skaters, I've seen beetles, crane fly, 3 different species of dragonfly, which is fantastic, and 3 different species of damselfly as well. I'm really hoping we can get some water boatmen and perhaps a great diving beetle. There's a really nice mixture of plants close to the pond. There's ragwort, there's thistle, and there's knapweed. All of these are fantastic for attracting insects. There's various butterflies, beetles, and there's bees and hoverflies. I've come down this morning with the mackerel lens to see what I can get. Now, it is very sunny, there's a few clouds around occasionally blocking the sun, but over here on the other side of the pond I've noticed that it's still very much in shade, and that means there's a good chance that I'm going to get some insects like the damselflies, possibly dragonflies. Because they're in that shade, it's going to take them longer to warm up and should be easier to photograph. Oh, it's a frog! There's a frog down here. And a pond like this is just such an important water source, both for drinking and for bathing. I know there's a lot of small birds around here, some woodland birds, so some of them will probably come down, maybe some bigger birds as well. And also, I knew there was roe deer in the area, and I looked earlier and I actually found a roe deer print, a very clear footprint right at the edge of this pond, so the roe deer have already been down. And also there was a little egret nearby on another pond, so there's a chance possibly the egret might visit here. Now, definitely one of the most interesting things I've found since I started exploring this pond is just all the cases around the edge of the pond. And what they are, I think they're dragonflies, the larvae. So what will happen is the dragonfly will start off in the pond, I think it's called the nymph, and then it will crawl up the plant stem, and then the adult dragonfly will emerge from that and get on the wing. And there is just loads of these kind of discarded cases all around the edge of this pond. I've got one right here now, and it's kind of weird sometimes because you can't tell maybe if they're alive or they're dead. I think most of them are just empty cases. Now, I used to call it a chrysalis, but that's wrong. I think it's called exuvia, but it's basically like the case in which you get the transformation and then the dragonfly comes out. So I'm finding these, there's just so many around the edge of this pond. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's the common darter dragonfly. One of the best things at the moment about this pond is from an accessibility point of view for the photography. So being a young pond, it's obviously not dense or overgrown, which means I can get really close to the water's edge without any trouble. So it's absolutely fantastic for photography. Obviously this might change a bit in the next year or so. And there's a really good gap I notice as well in the afternoons where the sun comes right through, absolutely perfect for dragonflies. But it isn't just about the photography here. I've got a place where I can just come down, really close to home. I can just come down to this lovely little pond, sit by the edge and just watch what's happening, watch the dragonflies and the damselflies, and nobody else around. I just have it all to myself. Just love the solitude and the peace. And again, I'm really grateful to the landowners for allowing me to come down here anywhere, but having this pond now, I think it's already become quite a special place. If you enjoyed this video, then I've put a link up on the screen to me out in the field searching for insects and doing some photography. And if you're not subscribed, if you click the subscribe button, that just sends the best positive message to YouTube, and it really helps my channel to grow, and likes and comments massively helps as well. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Oh, it's a frog. There's a frog down here.